Hi everybody, Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness here. Had a client come in a day or two ago and was asking me about budgeting. We were talking about groceries and how expensive they can be and organic versus non-organic and those kinds of things. And it made me think that maybe we should do a post on lower your grocery spend each week. So a lot of people tend to go crazy, and a lot of times you take the wrong person to the store with you and they tend to go crazy. So we've got 3 tips for you today on how to lower your grocery spend, whether you go to the store weekly or bi-weekly or more than once a week, whatever it may be. So whenever you go to the store, first off, you can't go hungry. I'm sure you probably heard that before, but when you go hungry, you just kind of tend to grab extra things that you don't really need. So there's not much reason in that, because then you're going to end up with stuff that you didn't really plan on having. It's extra calories that you didn't really need. You're probably not going to eat it before it goes bad, or else you are going to eat it, eat way too much, and end up gaining fat from it, which is not exactly what we want. So that would be the first step, is making sure that you do have some food in your system before you go. And the best thing to fill you up before you go is your vegetables. So that way then you've got a lot of fiber in there, you're full, you've got a lot of nutrients so you can think clearly. Hopefully you've drank your water that day, so you're hydrated well and your focus is on, so you can get in and get out and not have to spend an hour and a half at the store. So the next thing would be to go with a plan. Now, a lot of people think that just means a grocery list, and that is part of it. But the other part is sitting down before you go to the store and really making a meal plan for your entire week. Plan out who's going to eat what for breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, however many meals that you eat. But plan out what everybody's going to eat. In my house, I may eat something different than, say, the kids eat, or something different than my husband's going to eat. And so in that realm, we have to make sure that we've planned for everyone who's going to be eating different meals. Perhaps your spouse is going to be eating at work and doesn't need food from the grocery store for that particular meal, and perhaps you need meal food for that. So making sure that you've got the right amount of foods for the right amount of people. So making that weekly plan, just sitting down, it can be as simple as a piece of paper that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I like to go and create things, you know, on a computer in a spreadsheet form. So I make a spreadsheet that has Monday through Friday and all the different meals, and I write down what it is. And by doing that, you can actually cut your grocery bill typically in half by planning out your meals ahead of time. Because by doing that, then you only buy the foods that are appropriate for that meal plan. So you're not buying things just because you ran out of it, or just because you might have it one day, but rather because you need it for Tuesday night's meal. And a lot of times, if you can make those meals just a little bit larger so that they can span from a night to the next afternoon, maybe you cook up twice as much, then a lot of times you'll be able to save money because you're not going out to eat for lunches, and you'll be able to spend more money kind of in different areas where you need it to be. So spreading that meal out can be helpful. All right, so we're not going to go hungry. We're going to make our plan before we go. And number 3 is that we're going to plan meals that really can last, that can be multi-purpose, or that can really, you know, kind of last throughout the week or whatever it may be. And it's fall, so that's a great time for these types of meals. You're talking about soups and stews and chilies and things like that, that I know it's not quite cold outside yet, but it's starting to get there. Fall's thinking about coming. And those are great things to do, because if you go ahead and make that up on the weekend, then you can go ahead and pre-portion it out into your containers for the week, and you can freeze those containers. You can keep it for a few weeks if you freeze it, if you've frozen it. So you'll be able to have multiple meals out of that. Maybe you could make some taco meat and be able to use that for tacos one night, but also then turn around and use it for something else the next day, and be able to kind of mix and match what you're doing. So that can be very helpful as well. All right, now I told you there were 3, but there's really one extra one that I have to throw in there, and that is that one of the biggest wastes of money comes, as far as groceries go, it comes from people buying produce that spoils before they eat it. So in an optimal world, fresh would be best, frozen would be next best, and canned is saved for emergencies only. Canned, we can go over that another time. There's a lot of issues with that. But your frozen vegetables are next best compared to your fresh vegetables, and that's because the frozen have been flash frozen. That means that they've been picked at a certain point of ripeness, they've been cleaned, and then flash frozen immediately, so they haven't lost nearly as much nutrition as, say, your canned vegetables. So if you're buying vegetables or produce and you know that you're probably not going to use those, or that you typically don't by the end of the week, get them frozen. Buy them from the frozen section. If you don't find them in the frozen section, maybe it's something that you like to eat that typically they don't carry there, then take it home in a fresh form, prep it, cut it, whatever you need to do, and then freeze them yourself. Remember that if you're freezing things like that though, you want to get as much air out of that bag as possible. So if you have a vacuum sealer, that's great. If not, you can take and put it in a plastic bag, and you can dip it in some warm water, and that will allow the air to escape, and then you can seal it off with less air. So making sure that you're buying food that you're going to use is the big thing. So if you're spending money at the store and you feel like you're wasting money, a lot of times it's because you're not using that food in time. So if you buy only the things that you need, you make sure that you're going to buy things that are going to last, or that you're going to be able to use by the time that they go bad, and you're not going to go hungry, then you're going to be more successful being able to lower your grocery store budget week in and week out. Next week is our Bring a Friend week. We'd love to see you here. If you don't have a friend that already comes here, you can be my friend for the week. Just tell them I sent you. But feel free to give us a call if you'd like to show up. We just need to know that you're coming so we can be prepared and make sure there's enough room for everybody when they come. So if you'd like to come, or you have a friend who'd like to come, invite them next week. We'd love to let you experience the type of workouts that we offer, whether it's in a private session or a semi-private session or a small group training session. So we would love to see you for that. I hope you guys are ready for an awesome day, and I will talk with you soon.